Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Saudi money has exposed Gervonta Davis and will expose others. That's what some people are saying. They're saying with the kind of money that the Saudis are willing to pay these fighters, it doesn't make any sense for a fighter to scoff at the idea that Turkey al-Sheikh wants to have them fight in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And this is the stumbling block for a lot of people that just can't make sense of why Gervonta Davis would say basically that he's not interested in fighting over there. Now, I had an individual, we were kind of going back and forth on this, and what he was saying is he believes that Gervonta Davis doesn't want to lose being the A side. And the way he was explaining it to me is that Gervonta's used to being the A side. He's used to dictating things in the contract. He's used to putting a lot of stipulations in the contract because he knows that his opponents are going to make the most money they've ever made in their career by fighting him. As a result, they accept a lot of things that they probably really don't want to accept, but they want the opportunity to make big money. And I understand where he's coming from. However, you know, when I look at it, I don't know if that's really fair to say about Gervonta Davis, but there is some truth to Gervonta Davis and a couple of his fights having some stipulations in the contract that where we found out rehydration clauses, etc. Really not cool to me as a boxing fan, but that's the business of boxing, and it is what it is. But as far as Gervonta going to fight in Saudi, that him losing his A-side status, I think he still remains the A-side, where no matter who he fights, I would think that the Saudis would be prepared to pay Gervonta Davis significantly more than any of his opponents. It's like Anthony Joshua against any of his opponents. We know Anthony Joshua is the draw. Anthony Joshua, the pay-per-view guy. But Anthony Joshua is the draw. So with or without a title, Anthony Joshua, what you'll see, gets paid significantly more than his opponents. So he always kind of remains like in the A side. Gervonta Davis going to fight in Saudi, as far as the money, I think he will get paid more. This is where it gets a little sticky, where the A side stuff, I think, goes out the window. I don't think Turkey al-Sheikh will be okay with rehydration clauses and other things. I don't think that's going to be the case. And this is where the person I was talking to was making an argument that Gervonta Davis is being exposed because he can't win a fight unless he handicaps the fighter, his opponent. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand the point he's making. But I do think Gervonta Davis will go fight in Saudi. I just don't know when. But I'll be honest with you, I don't understand why. I mean, let's say he has issues with his probation. Or, you know, maybe there's some other things out there that we don't know about. But what I will say is a lot of the boxing fans are looking at him as someone who doesn't want to put other fighters on a level playing field. He wants to always have the advantage. Some people feel that way about Canelo Alvarez. But what I will say is, as fighters who get opportunities to go fight in Saudi, to make the most money, right, they've ever made, if they turn down the opportunity, you got to stop and say, what went wrong here? All these fighters talk about, they want to get paid, they want money, they want this. Some want the legacy, but for the most part, they want dough. Everybody wants to get paid. So if you got a fighter running away from a handsome payday or the most money they've made in their life, you got to stop and say, what's going on here? I've talked about this in other videos and a few YouTube shorts. This isn't a Deontay Wilder situation. There were some lessons learned from how Wilder, Finkel, the DAZN reps, Eddie Hearn, and trying to make Wilder and AJ when they were undefeated. There were some lessons learned for both sides, okay? We could sit here and poke people in the eyeball, but it doesn't make sense. There were some lessons learned, and that's been documented in the lessons learned register. But when we sit here now and you look at these guys who've come after Wilder, AJ, that whole, shitstorm that happened with those negotiations years ago. These guys should be looking at Deontay Wilder and seeing the position he's in now and saying, you know what? It doesn't matter what this person's getting. These opportunities may not come around again because I don't want to end up in a situation like Wilder where I had an opportunity to make, 2-3 times as much as what I've ever made in a fight, but I'm going to walk away because of my pride and my ego and me feeling that I'm the A side and no one should be able to dictate anything to me. Let me tell you something. If any fighter going to fight in Saudi Arabia, they should be jumping at that opportunity, in my opinion. You got this guy over here, Turki Al-Sheikh, who has a checkbook, trillions of dollars, right? Just chilling, wanting to give you money. This man wants to give you money. He doesn't want to hear anything about money and the fight can't be made because this person wants this and this person wants that. And we're not sure if the pay-per-view numbers will hit where it needs. We're not sure about the ticket sales. We're not sure about the live gate. So when we do our risk assessment here and we see, you know what, man, it's highly likely we may not get there. The profit margins aren't going to be what we think it needs to be. So we don't want to roll the dice because the promoter's the one who takes the risk and he's the one who loses money. Now you got the Saudis. That's why you hear Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. They over there, they're just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever you want. His Excellency. That's what yes, His Excellency. Whatever you want. Because they're not accepting any financial risk. The Saudis are just like, oh, no, okay, we got it. You just make sure that you get the fighters over here. So I don't know, man. But we're going to see if Devin Haney's going to come over there. We're going to see all these guys, if they get offered opportunities to come fight in Saudi. We're going to see if they come. And if they say no, you got to wonder why. You got to wonder why. The situation is very... It's going to be a situation like Deontay Wilder and his whole thing with him and AJ in that fight not happening. It's very similar. People are going to want to know, why would you walk away from that kind of money? And that's what I'm asking myself right now when it comes to Gervonta. Is he just talking? Is it gamesmanship? Is he serious? What's the deal? Now, a person was asking me, how much money are they offering him? I don't know. But I would like to think it's probably a lot more than what he made fighting Ryan Garcia. And, if Ryan on record says he made $30 million, you'd have to think Gervonta made, probably upwards of like 40, 45. You'd have to think he made some good money. So if he was to go fight, let's say Gervonta made 40, 45 million. He goes to fight in Saudi. I can't see them offering him, anything less than 50 million. So again, it's a lot of money, man. I don't understand. If you have the opportunity to make that kind of money, or maybe it seems like a lot to someone like me because I don't have 50 million. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it doesn't seem like much to them because they have that kind of money. But what can a person do for that short period of time, right, to go make that kind of money? And that's why I think these guys should be over there in Saudi for as long as it lasts, making all that money. If I was young like those guys and had stuck to boxing and would have ended up in a position like these guys and I had the opportunity, let me tell you something. I'd stay over there. I'd fight exclusively in Saudi and try to get myself $1 billion out there. And if I lose twice, then whatever. At least, I had a good run and I made some good money. But why sit right here in the States, nickel and diamond? You can't even get people out here that really want to buy pay-per-view. Can't blame them. Fire Stick is an amazing thing. You really can't get a lot of people to want to come out to events anymore. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And when you look at boxing right now, everything that's happening in boxing is pretty much the UK, the American side. You know, De La Hoya has a few shows, but I mean, things are drying up here stateside. So I think these fighters have a lot to think about. Gervonta and other fighters who just are choosing not to go over there and fight. You know what? The reality is this. Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren are in a great position. Because as long as they have the opportunities for fighters to stay active, and these fighters in the States who aren't active, and who knows if they'll ever become as active as they once were. You know, you would have to think they want to, you know, pull chocks and head on over there and try to sign with Frank Warren or fight with Eddie Hearn. You would have to think that. But I know that loyalty is something else, man. I think loyalty can cause some of these fighters, not Gervonta Davis because he's paid, but some of these other guys who haven't had an opportunity to make 3, 4, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. I think that loyalty is going to hurt them financially if they don't break lock with their contracts or whoever they're signed to over here in the States, especially if they're a good fighter, and try to get on that Saudi circuit somehow. But that being said, y'all keep cool. I do think this Saudi money will expose some people, some fighters, if they turn that money down. It'll make me it'll make me say, why did they turn down life-changing money? Even though they already have money, why would you walk away from another 50 million, 100 million? Like, it doesn't make sense. But they would have their own reasons, and hopefully they would come out and explain why. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.